Okay, so in this video, we'll be going to work on a problem related to proportion distribution for hypothesis testing one sample mean. And for that, we use z-test of a proportion. Suppose a consumer group suspects that the proportion of households that have 3 cell phones is 30%. A cell phone company has reason to believe that proportion is not 30%. Before they start a big advertising campaign, they conduct a hypothesis test. Their marketing people survey 150 households with the result of 43 of the households have 3 cell phones. A cell phone company has a reason to believe that proportion is not 30%. So the proportion means we go for P. P is not 30%. And so this is basically saying P is not equal to 0.3, right? And its opposite or contradictory statement is P equals to 0.3. Now, by the definition of null hypothesis, this expression with equality symbol will be the null hypothesis, which is H0, P equals to 0.3. And alternative hypothesis is the proportion is not equal to 0.3. So this is the hypothesis. Now, number 2, we already know that since this percentage will provide us proportion. So we go for P equals to 30% or 0.3. So we choose proportion distribution. Proportion distribution, and with P equals to this much, okay, and underlying distribution is P hat is normal with 0.3 is the mean, and standard deviation would be 0.3, proportion of households having 3 cell phones, and its opposite is 0.7, right? 1 minus P divided by how many numbers of households were surveyed. Okay, so you can see that the total number of households surveyed was 150. So that would be 150. Success, let us denote it by P. P is a household, 3 cell phones. And this distribution P hat, it is defined as households with cell phones, right? Cell phones. Okay, and then their marketing people surveyed 150 households with the result that 43 of the households have 3 cell phones. So that means if you go for, so X equals to 43 and N equals to 150, we have already noted this down. So this P dash or P hat for this particular survey is 43 over 150. Okay. And then we know that alpha is 0.05, which is 5% significance level. Now, let us try to figure out the P value. So P value, let us denote it by P equals to probability of having probability that this P hat is greater than 43 over 150. Right? Okay, so that would be the thing. So then geozebra.org graphing calculator, click on this statistics and go for z-test of a proportion, since we are working on proportion distribution. So this P, the proportion is 0.3, and alternative hypothesis was it was not equals to 0.3. Successes, 43 successes out of 150. So you can see that successes is 43, number of trials is 150, the z-test statistics is negative 0.3563, and the p-value is 0.7216. 7216. So we can say that P is approximately 72.16%. Okay. Now you can clearly see that alpha is less than P. Since alpha is simply 5% and P is 72.16%, we do not reject null hypothesis. We do not reject null hypothesis. So in conclusion, we would write down conclusion for 5% significance level. There is no sufficient evidence that the households having 3 cell phones is not 30%. Okay, since we do not reject null hypothesis, means we are actually rejecting the alternative hypothesis. Okay, there's no reason that there is no enough reason that the household having 3 cell phones is not 30%. Okay, so that's it. All right, thank you so much.